Sage Wanderer here, coming at you from my van down by the river. So, many of you know by now that Roger Stone has been the most recent victim of the Mueller witch hunt. And what was his crime? What was his crime? Well, chiefly it was making false statements. So, that's words that he said. So, he said some things to the FBI that turned out to not be true according to them. Now, I thought we had freedom of speech, but I guess you don't have the right to lie to the FBI. That lying to the FBI is a crime. If they ask you if you're wearing any underwear and you say yes when you're not, you're going to prison. You think that's reducing it to the ridiculous, and maybe it is. But it doesn't change the fact that Roger Stone's crime is the crime of speaking. And so is General Flynn's crime. And so is Corsi's crime. Almost all of the indictments and arrests concerning the Trump-Russia collusion Mueller probe have nothing to do with Trump, nor do they have anything to do with collusion. But they are created crimes generated by the investigation itself. Recently, a pretty well-known YouTuber in the truthing community made some statements on his YouTube channel. And then he was just pulled over by local police and held until the FBI could come. He was held alongside the road with no explanation, and pretty soon the FBI shows up. He feels very intimidated by all of this. They ask him, "Sir, please get in the van." If they say please, they don't have the right or the authority to make you do it. If they're saying please, they're asking. Because policemen use all of their authority, and especially the feds use all of their authority. So if they had the authority to put you in the SUV, they would just put you in the SUV. They're asking you to please step inside the SUV or the police car because they don't have the right to make you go there, and they're just inviting you, and you went on your own accord. Many people do not understand the rights that they have. Oh, we hear a lot about the First Amendment. We got the right to speak, or do we? I guess if you're speaking to the FBI, your First Amendment rights are suspended. You know, these questioning of these people were not even under oath. They were just being questioned. Many times they were being questioned and they were trying to cooperate with the investigation. Let me tell you something right now. If the FBI is talking to you, they don't need your help for the investigation. You are the investigation. Whether you know it or not, even if they didn't intend to put you in jail when they walked into your house and asked you questions, if you say the wrong thing, that's exactly what's going to happen to you. So, in case you didn't know, and you haven't seen any of the old cop movies, you have the right to remain silent. Never get in the SUV. Don't open the door unless they have a warrant. In other words, cooperating with the FBI has been proven clearly in this most recent situation to be hazardous to your freedom. That speaking to the FBI for any reason, even if you think the investigation isn't about you, can land you in prison. They had an old saying back in World War II, "Loose lips sink ships." My patriot brothers and sisters, it is now time for us to utilize a much lesser known amendment to the Bill of Rights. We know about the First Amendment. We know about the Second Amendment. Some of us know about the Fourth Amendment. But what about that Fifth Amendment? You have the right to remain silent. You do not have to cooperate with any investigation. See, what's happening here is that this rogue agency in the FBI is using some old school Inquisition techniques to enslave people, to wrongfully jail people like Roger Stone. They ask you if it's 5 o'clock, and if your watch is a minute off, and you say 4:59, you're going to jail, buddy! You just lied to the FBI! Remain silent. Do not cooperate. They are not your friend. This is hard for me because I consider myself a friend of law enforcement. I'm on the side of law and order. But when our law enforcement becomes corrupt, when our law enforcement becomes selective, oh, let's see, Hillary Clinton can lie under oath and she's not arrested. Bill Clinton can redefine the meaning of the word is, and he's not arrested. Obama can tell you, you can keep your doctor, you can keep your plan. He wasn't arrested. Hillary Clinton joked about destroying evidence when she said she just, I think it's Snapchat. I'm kind of technologically not savvy about some things. I don't do Snapchat, but I think she said that she'd discovered Snapchat, and the thing she liked about it is the messages erased themselves. So she joked about committing obstruction of justice, admitting it to the people. She's not arrested. So our system is selective about who is being punished and who is being held to the letter of law and who is not. This is not a time to cooperate with the FBI. And let me promise you, I don't care what anybody comes on here in the comment section and tries to tell you, or what law enforcement themselves will try to tell you. The Constitution tells us you don't have to talk to them. Because in the Inquisition, they would just bring you in and they would ask you questions to try to trip you up. You know, you can see this in the Bible when the Pharisees came to Jesus and they asked him questions. They weren't curious. They didn't want to know his opinion. They weren't asking for his help. They were trying to make him slip up and say something that they could prosecute him and crucify him for. And ultimately, that's what they did. The FBI wants to crucify you if you support Donald Trump. If you support freedom, if you support the Constitution, if you support law and order, if you support our great country and its traditions, if you're not for globalism, if you're not for tyranny, if you're not for government suppression of the masses, if you're not for censorship, well, they're out to get you. They're making that perfectly clear by their actions now, aren't they? I've said all along I feel like the FBI should be dismantled. It's a rogue organization. It's being controlled by one party over the other. Don't cooperate. You don't have to. You have the right to remain silent. I suggest you use it. Patriots, we are entering a time now where one misspoken word can land you in jail. Watch what you say, and more importantly, who you say it to. And never, ever, ever say anything to the FBI except, I want to see a lawyer. I will remain silent. And am I being detained? That's another thing. They'll hold you and make you think you're being arrested. The FBI does this. Local law enforcement does this. They'll make you think you can't leave. So you have to ask them the pointed question in this exact way. Am I being detained? If they say yes, you say under what charges. And when they tell you, say, I would like to see a lawyer. Well, we're not arresting you right now. You're detaining me. Well, I refuse to answer your questions without counsel present. So I guess we need to go on down to the police station. They'll let you go if they don't got anything on you, and they don't, or they wouldn't be asking. You would be in cuffs already. That's what you got to understand. If they're asking, they don't know. It's a fishing expedition. Don't stumble over your own tongue, patriots. We're in a war here, and they're going to arrest us all over some picky-owned little baloney, and most of us they're going to get by the stumbling over our own tongue and saying things that incriminate us. You have the right to remain silent. Use it. God save our republic.